Matt in the car, martial arts training in the car, and I thought we have a little different topic today. Talk a little bit about starting a martial arts school or starting a martial arts training group. And let me start us off a little bit of story about how I would say my first real big involvement or big aha moments in martial arts was training Kobukai Jiu-Jitsu. And even though we started in a commercial spot, Shion Ruff St. Laurent built a shed in his backyard, converted it into a dojo, and it was essentially a private training group. Yeah, there was a website and things he advertised and marketed, but he wasn't hunting for new students. He was hunting for martial artists. He was hunting for people who wanted to learn the Japanese Jiu-Jitsu arts in a more combative, realistic sense. And as sometimes it was maybe 4, 5, 6 of us at night training, and you put 10 people in there, it felt like, it was packed to the gills. But I'm telling you, some of the most amazing training experiences I ever had was in that small dojo. It's where it was really focused, really special, really, intimate, for lack of a better word. So sometimes when people look at, my 17 plus years of coaching, they see the school, like, oh my God, they think that they have to have this big monstrosity martial arts school. Let me tell you right from the owner, it's not as easy as it looks. It's a pain in the ass. If I had to do it again, I maybe eventually got into this route. But, for someone who's so passionate about martial arts like myself, who I dedicated my life to it, I thought that having the school was the true eventuality of my progression. And like I said before, I think if I did it again, I'd probably end up into a similar situation. But if I was to start again, I wouldn't focus on having the big school, all the students as the outcome. I would focus first on the individual students like Shion Ruff did. And then when I think about back in my journey, how I first started, that's what it was about too. That's what it brought back. That's what got me to where I was starting really small. So I decided this topic today because I've talked to a few martial artists over the past few weeks, especially on the phone, and most of them have a deep martial arts background, a lot of it in the traditional martial arts, and they've added Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or other things like that into their arsenal, but they're ready or wanting to be ready or ready to eventually take the next step to teaching, sharing martial arts, sharing their passion, helping someone new, inspire them onto this journey of awesomeness in martial arts. So I think it's a confusing path where you really don't know where to start and what to do and why to do it. And you think that you have to maybe, I've heard some people think they need to get business loans and dojos or building permits and this. I'm like, man, you are overthinking the shit out of it. I was going to start again. I would do exactly what Shion did, or what I'll call now garage dojos. And there are so many of you out there, and I think this is so awesome, that are training privately already, or training in your basement with a group of people, or training in your garage. You put some mats down, like a garage gym. I think that's so cool. I think this term garage dojos is kind of fun. It's because that's what it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, if I was to start again, that's where I would start. I would find, I have no kids, but maybe have a son or a daughter who is in over 10 or 11 years old, and they're looking to learn some self-defense, or they're going off to college and they want to learn to defend themselves, or whatever. It's great. You have a brother, or your wife, your sister, your uncle, doesn't matter, or your buddy, and you want to explore martial arts and train martial arts together. These are perfect opportunities to put something, to put some mats down and get training. Now, if you have a martial arts background, you already know where to start. You have the basics. And this is more kind of like a theoretical concept about starting a school. But if you were starting to teach martial arts, or say you're like a new martial arts teacher. In fact, I was just talking to a guy the other day. He lives out in Turkey. He has a jiu-jitsu school, and he's doing pretty well. He has a few students, and he's growing. And he said to me, he's like, I'm frustrated they're not picking up the techniques in a roundabout way. And when we got deeper into conversation, I realized he was focusing on the advanced stuff. He was trying to teach all the cool shit to BJJ, like the barrel bowls and all the other fucking crazy stuff that we don't need to do. And he was skipping core concepts, the core fundamentals. And actually, Shion Ruff paid me an amazing compliment once. He says, you're an amazing fundamentals coach. And I was like, man, I love that, because that's what I think the meat and potatoes, the root of all martial arts, is in the fundamentals, is in the movement, initial concepts, the feel, the techniques are the representation of those concepts, but not, and advanced techniques are like fundamentals done really, really, really well. We have such control of your body, such understanding of those concepts, that you're allowed to have variety and creativity. So, if you are starting to teach someone, don't try to do the advanced stuff. You teach them the fundamentals, but you make it realistic. You're teaching jab cross. You don't just teach it in the air and on a heavy bag. You get partner drills. If you're doing, osotogari or some sort of basic jiu-jitsu technique, you're doing the basic concepts and you're layering in stress and all that. So fundamentals can be done really, really well and really, really fun if you train them properly. So, going back to the beginning, if you were starting a martial arts school or starting a martial arts training group or a garage dojo, that's what I would do. I would find a buddy, find one or two people, and they're out there. There's tons of resources. I bet if you put on Craigslist, hey, come train in my garage martial arts, that might be a little weird, and you might get a couple different people out there that send you the wrong messages, but there are groups. I think a meetup is one of them. I haven't done this, but I guarantee you can find some sort of community gathering, whether it be on Facebook groups for your town, or you know somebody, maybe you're a police officer and you're working with other police officers, or again, if you brainstorm and this takes a little bit of thought, I guarantee you can find one or two people to train with for free. Don't charge them. Hey, bud, I'm just starting to really invigorate my martial arts again. I really am passionate about this. I haven't gotten to train in a while. Would you be willing to work with me? Blah, blah, blah. And it starts from there. If you get 2 or 3 people that you consistently work with, you are now able to start a school. Meaning, you now can start advertising, put a website together, maybe make this a little bit more professional where you are looking at sharing a martial arts place. In fact, one of our new Kobukai Jiu-Jitsu black belts, Kyle, just opened a school in Kobukai Jiu-Jitsu school in Thailand. I'm 90% sure. But Kyle has been teaching martial arts for a while. He teaches at other schools. I believe he had a private training group that he did for his community center. So there's like the YMCA's, the community centers. Those things out there are begging. Even your local churches, I've heard, are begging for activities for their members to do. If you can offer free self-defense service, 6-week course, something like that, and you have 1 or 2 of your students help you demonstrate and teach other people, dude, you're on a path to actually doing something. But if you think that somehow you need to spend all this money to open a school, invest in this, get fitness classes, blah 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 blah, you're thinking way too far ahead. You're thinking many years ahead. In fact, it's unfortunate. That's a lot of new martial arts coaches think they have to do. That they have to be this all sort of perfect representation of a martial arts gym, and that takes time. Guys, 17 years of coaching. It took me 11 years to open down my my TRITAC HQ or TRITAC Training Center, and it's huge. Yes, 20,000 square feet, but it's my baby and my nightmare at the same time. So it's my full-time job. It's 7:50 in the morning. I'm about to go film. Then I got coaching and privates, and then meetings for the next 5 hours. After that, I take a little break. Then I'm right back at it, and at 3 o'clock, back to the gym, coaching, meetings, more coaching, classes, blah blah blah. It's a long day, and this is every day, 7 days a week. We're open, and I'm involved. So if you are going to be a martial arts coach and you want to do it full time, well, get ready to sacrifice a lot of your, I should say sacrifice, get ready to suffer and enjoy the suffering for your school, because this is truly a passion-based business. Do I expect to make millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars off of fucking martial arts coaching at my place in Connecticut? No, let's be honest. I would love to be a multi-millionaire. That's never been my goal. I think about money a little differently. I think about money as a tool, where if I have money, all I do is invest back into myself or invest in the things I want to do. I'm going to die in, how many fucking 20, 30, 40 years, whatever it is. I hope it's not 20. Oh, God, it's that. Let's go 50 years. That's better. 47 now, just in case you didn't know that. So 97, I'll kick out of this planet. And what's money gonna do for me? As long as I have my woman, my health, and my family around me, and I'm good. You know what I mean? So that's why I chose martial arts as a profession. If you guys didn't know, I left a very lucrative job as a director of marketing for a hot tub company. It was called Thermal Spas. It was sold to Jacuzzi, and I had an offer to go work for them. And I decided at that point in time, you know what, I'm going to take. I saved up some money. I'd already been teaching as a sub project, as kind of a passion project for a few years. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take this risk. I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to open my own school, invest into it. Now, for the first 3 years of me working at my first school, the JSA, the Jiu-Jitsu Strength Academy, I was also consulting and doing a lot of marketing consulting on the side, working for other people, doing their websites, doing their marketing to keep that gym alive. So even though I left my full-time job as a director of marketing, and I had my now main focus, my martial arts school, I still had to continue consulting and doing things to in fact, this kind of where this YouTube channel started, was back in that day where I was looking at other ways to put myself out there, share my information, selling online courses and marketing and online courses and coaching was the eventuality. But again, that started with just, I love video. I just think video is cool. In fact, it's sad, I used to record almost all my training sessions back in the day, all my matches. And 5, 6, 7 years ago, I got divorced, and unfortunately, my ex-wife was cleaning out my stuff. She didn't tell me, and she decided to throw away my footage, and so I lost a lot of my old school training footage on mini DV tapes and other media. I forget what was on, but long story short, I documented everything, and so it was just became an eventuality. I started putting videos online. But eventually it's like, well, that's another supplemental income. Let's be honest, guys, if you have any experience in YouTube, you know as well as I do that this is not a money maker. It's a little bit of money. It puts some extra bank in it, and it covers some bills, which is nice, So if you want to help a struggling YouTube martial artist guy like me, please like and subscribe and all that. I would appreciate that. But that's not the point. My point is actually trying to share awesome information with people locally, with people online. That's where my passion comes from, and I believe that if that's my driver for success. My definition of success might be different than yours. Of course, we all want to have monetary success, that we live a comfortable life, but I love my truck. This is my lifetime truck. I make a joke. You can bury me in this truck. I love this thing. My house. I love where I live. I live in a very small house, but a beautiful spot, and that's where I'm going to be for life. I don't need a mansion. I live in a tiny house, not tiny house, but it's me and my girl and my dogs. We don't need a lot, so it's very, very simple. But we have a beautiful piece of property, and it's just I get to live the life I want, without being outside my means. So my point I'm making is, if you're looking at martial arts as a career path, it's there. It definitely is there, and there's a lot of different ways you can approach this as a career path. But if you're thinking about opening a martial arts school as like, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna make all this money, I'm gonna be famous, blah blah blah, maybe it's there for you, but you got to work your balls off. So going back to the beginning, if you want to share and teach martial arts, do it with passion, and do it because you love it, and you're embracing what martial arts is, right? Someone shared martial arts with me. It's my responsibility to almost share it back. As a teacher, that's essentially what you're doing. As a coach, that's what you're doing. Sorry. Oh, you know what? Hey, it's morning time, but it still happens. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna keep doing this until they sponsor me. They just can't help it. So, sharing martial arts should be a passion, and it's going to take some time until you build up like a good student base, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't ignore that passion. And don't let confusion or the unknown put roadblocks in front of you. I've referenced this in other videos. I tattooed on my center of my chest, conquer your inner demons and conquer your inner fears. Part of that is actually martial arts infused, that there's anybody in front of me, I'm willing, ready, and able. But also that if something is unknown to me or confuses me or gives me a little fear, like opening a school or I'm at my gym now, but like taking the risk and changing my whole original school that I built, to walk into a dirt floor and design a whole new place, and that was a huge risk for me, and it took a long time to get settled in here. So I did it though because I believed in the vision of where it was going. I believe that what I can make it become. So you have to trust yourself, and you have to be led by passion, and you're gonna have doubts, you're gonna have fears, and it's just like there's so many correlations to martial arts. But I use this like a one a lot. It's like, you know, if I tap, if I make a mistake, if I fuck up, it's okay. I get to do it again. I learned from that experience. If I lost in a match or I lost whatever it is, I get to learn and do it again. I'm kind of bullheaded where I just don't quit. That's just my thing. You know what I mean? I may not be the most intelligent dude in the room. I may not be the most skilled or athletic dude in the room, but I'm not going to quit. You tap me out, I'm going to be right in front of you again. You punch me in the face, I'm going to be right in front of you. And you kick my ass in business. You make me go no money. You fuck me over. I'm still going to be right here. I don't go away. And that just comes from martial arts training. When I remember when I walked on a mat as a white belt and I saw Shian Russ move, I'm like, I'm going to be a black belt that day. I knew it would take years and years to do it, but I don't quit. That's my thing. So, I'm going to close this off with, yes, anybody could and should open a martial arts school if you have that passion, that drive, and experience. Listen, you only did martial arts for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden you want to be like some sort of UFC champion. It's kind of funny. I don't like talking shit about other schools and everything. But there's a guy right over that hill who opened a school literally at the driveway. There's a big building that I have. But at the bottom of my driveway is essentially another martial arts school. And I thought to myself, what is this guy doing? He's only been doing this for a few years. I don't know if he ever fought. He has no rank, no credentials. Maybe he trained a couple guys, and if you saw him out in public, you're like, that doesn't look like a professional type of guy. It's funny, and like, I've been doing this a while, and I'm a humble guy, but I'm a truthful guy. Like, all right, last night, it was Wednesday nights are one of our busiest nights, and arguably at 6:30, 7 o'clock, maybe if you're going to the strength training area, to the kickboxing, to judo, and to my classes on the mat, I had about 30 plus people on my mat. There was about 10 plus in judo. There's a few people in the kickboxing area. There'll be like 5 or 6 people in the gym right around 6 o'clock. So I'm saying that's like around 40, 50 people, maybe a little bit more. And, no offense to the guy, but he's got like 2 or 3. But he spent, at his time, because people drive up and tell me. But he spent all this, like, I guess he got loans or whatever, but all this money, all this thing, all this bluster, all these signs of advertising, like, almost like you're marketing to my students, like, as they're driving up, like, what do you think is going to hope that they're going to leave my awesomeness to go train there because you have cool signs? Like, really confusing marketing there. But my point is, like, I think he made a mistake where he rushed the equation. He, from my understanding, got somebody to invest in him and spent all this money to kind of transform this gym space, but he wasn't ready yet. You know what I mean? He would have been better off of like having a small group, building up like some credentials, building up some experience, and instead he's kind of tried to be cool almost right off the bat. Like, oh, look, I'm a martial arts coach or jiu-jitsu coach. I'm like, how could you be a jiu-jitsu coach when who taught you jiu-jitsu? So, man, I feel petty when I say this stuff, but I'm using it. So that really bothers me when I do that. So I respect anybody putting themselves out there as a coach, but you got to do it at the right times and put yourself in the right situations. That if you're rushing the equation, if you're rushing to like the accolades, like you're looking for the trophy, not the journey, then you're going to fail, plain and simple. Yeah, you may be a few years exist or whatever, but if you chase that trophy, I want the gold medal, I want the thing, then you're never going to get it. You're going to miss all the coolness, man. The journey, how I got here, fucking 17 years. It sounds to me like a long time. It feels like a drop of a hat, but think about it. It's a long time of suffering and growth. I don't fucking quit. So it was led by passion. So I'll close this off right now because it's 8 o'clock. I just saw Leon pull up. That means we're going to start filming some awesome shit for YouTube besides this Matt in the car stuff, which I think is fun. I enjoy doing this with you guys. So follow your passions, men, women, mostly men out there. Follow your passions. Martial arts, coaching, and training is fucking awesome. Sharing it with people is so rewarding. But do it do it with passion and do it at the right time. So if you're starting martial arts school, thinking about starting martial arts school, you need some help, you have some curiosities about it, reach out to me. I talk to people all the time for free. I'm not charging anything. Just I like talking to people, obviously, and I like to help people any way I can. So if you need a little help or a little bit of nudge or maybe a little direction, let me know. I love to somehow be a part of your journey and sharing the awesomeness of martial arts. Oops, guys, thank you. Martial arts training in the car, Matt in the car. I appreciate you.